Wasn't you? I should've never even fucked with you.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm here with my boy Alan and we're about to attempt something very scary, but if it works out, it's gonna look super nice. We're gonna try to do the Rolls-Royce lights on my Lexus RCF. Hopefully we don't mess anything up. Haven't really tried attempting it yet, but we're gonna do our best. So let's see how this goes. Alright guys, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna start by taking off the mirrors, the lights, the microphone, the lights in the middle, and the handles right here. After that, we're gonna slowly loosen up these pillars. I already got one kind of loose just to test it out. It's still clamped in though, so don't try to yank it off. Just slowly loosen it from the sides, and there should be a couple clamps in there. Be careful so the airbag doesn't pop in your face. After you get the two pillars off and you have all the other accessories off, if it's still tightened, then you might have to take off the pillar in the middle with the seatbelt buckle, and you might have to take off your back pillars, but you shouldn't have to do all that on most cars. Some cars you'll have to do the seatbelt pillar, but after you take off these middle ones and all these other accessories, you should be able to just slowly go around and loosen it little by little. So let's get started on this pillar and all these other accessories out here. Alright, so let's get started on moving this pillar. I already removed it a little bit. I think I'm actually just going to leave it on because honestly the clamps that are holding it in are a little bit hard to get off, and you don't really need to get it all the way off. You just kind of need to loosen it enough to be able to move everything else around. All these accessories are mainly, these are what are screwed in. Those are what's mainly holding it up. The rest should all just be clamped down. So now that I got it all loosened up, we're going to get started on removing this mirror and removing this handlebar. Stuff like this microphone right here, I already popped it off a little bit. It was just being held in by one clamp, and then you just have to detach the wire right here, and that's it. And it should pop right off, and that should go for all the electrical stuff right here. So let's get started on this mirror, and then we'll get to the back. Alright, so guys, we got everything out. We got the middle part out. That was the main one I was scared of damaging. But the hardest thing was these handlebars. It took forever to get the caps off. I didn't have anything small enough to fit in there. And then after that, it was pretty easy. I had clamps to just unclip it instead of screws. Other than that, everything's out, ready to get going. This little part right here for the mirror, that's the last thing. I'm hoping it'll just come right out while we pull the headliner off. But if I can't get it, then we'll have to force it out. So I'll start filming us pulling it out, and we'll see how this goes. Alright, so we're going to start slowly moving it out little by little. This little clamp right here for the mirror is giving us a pain. So hopefully we'll be able to find a way to get it out from the back, because we could not get it out from this way. We've tried everything. But we're going to try and remove the headliner from all the way around, and then we'll just pop it out once we get to that part. Alright, so we got the headliner mostly out. I'm going to try and attempt to do it while it's still in the car because I don't want to have to crease it or mess anything up. There's a couple cords right there that are still holding it tight for all the sensors for auto cruise control and everything. I'm going to just leave them and try to get around them, but that's the only thing that's still holding it up. Everything else is already unclamped and taken off. I might have to take these off and then hot glue them back on. This might get in the way, might not, we'll see. But the good thing is everything that's on here on the back of the headliner is just hot glued on here. So I can remove it if I need to and just put it right back. So now we're going to start poking the holes, numbering them. I already got started on one of them. I numbered it. We're going to have to poke 150 holes. I'll just fast forward through all that and show you guys the finished product. Alright guys, so I finally got done poking all the holes and numbering them and everything in the headliner. I'm working on this alone now, so it took me a while, almost about an hour. I messed up on a couple of them, had to X them out and redo the holes, but it came out pretty nice. My kit comes with 150 strands. I recommend getting something more because I had to space them out kind of wide, so it's not one specific spot that has a lot because I kind of ran out. But there's other kits that come with about 300. I'd recommend the 300 kit so you can have spots that are more dense in the lighting. But this is how it looks. Poked all the holes, prepped them. Now we just gotta feed the wire through and get it to a spot where we can hide it all. Alright, so it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and finally got done putting all the holes in and poking all the wires through. I had to re-poke almost all the holes with the drill because they weren't big enough for the strands to go through. And also, after you get all of it done, it turns into a huge mess, and all this wires, I had to tape it together so it can be easier to feed it through to the back where I'm gonna have the power going to. Another issue I ran into, which is why it took me so long, is while I was feeding these wires into all their spots, they were slowly coming out from the little light box, and so now they weren't long enough to be getting light. So make sure you tape yours down, keep them tight together, make sure they stay tight. If they start slipping out, you're gonna have to line them all back up, cut them, and stick them all back together, or else they won't get any light from this little machine if they're too far out. So we gotta glue them all down now and feed the wire towards the back for the power source, and then we should be able to get the headliner back in place. Alright everyone, I've been at it for about 6-7 hours now, 4 of those hours by myself, so I think I'm just gonna call it a day, come back and try it again tomorrow. I'm about a quarter way through gluing everything down. There's still a lot more on the passenger side in the middle that I can't reach, and it's just a little tiring with the headliner inside. So I recommend, if you can, get the headliner out. It saves you a lot of problems with squeezing yourself in and everything. You'll be able to see the holes better, you'll be able to get everything in faster. But right now, I'm just gonna call it a day, come back tomorrow, finish gluing everything, and pop the headliner back in and test it out. Alright everybody, we're back. It's day 2 of trying to get the headliner installed. It's time to finish gluing up the rest of the lights in so they don't move around. Then we're gonna put the headliner back in. We should be done. That's all that's left. Alright, so got everything connected, got all the lights glued down, got the wires ready. I spliced the wires and bought some extra cable to make it longer so I can run the cable for the power all the way to the front. I'm gonna hide the light module inside the headliner because I have nowhere else to put it where it won't show. But now that we got everything glued in, everything secured, I'm gonna pop the headliner back in, then we're gonna cut the extra dangling wires and see how it works. Alright guys, finally done. I got everything up in here. Got all of it back. Honestly, putting everything back was not even half as hard as it was to take everything down. It took me about maybe 15-20 minutes to put all of them back by myself. Now we just gotta cut all these extra wires, get everything flushed, make it look nice, and hook it up. I've already tested it out. It looks amazing. Everything works. The audio works. The lights work perfect. So let's get this trimmed out and see the final result. I'm excited to see how it looks.
Do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it, turn it on me. 81, and bring the pressure to the party. Hey, you know me. Turn the 02 into the
Alright guys, about a total of 10 hours later, finally got it done. Looks amazing though. Came out way better than I expected. Had everything working fine. I used these little vine cutters right here, vine scissors, to cut them all out. I've seen some people use a toenail clipper just because you want to make sure you get them perfectly flush so there's nothing sticking out extra. Mine come with this app that you can control them. There's also a remote, little standard LED light remote, but I'd prefer to use this. It's a lot more simple. Let me see if I can get this to focus in. Comes with sound mode, twinkle, meteor shower. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. Different colors. Then I'm gonna go with the blue just because the whole blue theme in the car. But let's test out the sound mode real quick. Let's turn on the radio. Like that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the... Everything's worked perfect. I'm so happy that nothing went wrong, man. If anything went wrong, I would have been pissed. It was way too much time going into this. Honestly, one of the hardest jobs I've ever taken on. I would never do it again for any other car or for anybody. This was way too much work. Hope you guys liked the video though. If you guys have any questions on how to do it, any help, you need any help with any of the steps, leave a comment below. We'll try to get back to you and help you out. I'm gonna link down everything that we used, where you can purchase it, where you can find it at. See you guys next time.